Hey Trin, I don't know if you know how to play around and see if you can turn the dinging off. That would be awesome.
Hello?
Yeah, let me see.
Hello?
Hello? Yes?
Yes, I'm Damir Makley's mom. It's not letting me see anybody. It's just like on a regular phone call.
Hmm. That's weird. Do you want to try to log out and log back in?
Okay,
Or you,
I'll check.
yeah, I'll give it one more minute because we've got people still coming on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get us started here.
All right, Casey, I did it.
You're the best. Thank you. Trin, if you want to introduce yourself real quick, I am just doing one more thing and then we're good to go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trinity. I worked alongside Casey for about 3 years as a intern. I went to this camp years ago when it was at Kutztown University. And that's actually where I gave my life to Christ. And now I'm currently a registered nurse and I'll be working at Liberty on the nursing staff. So if your children have any type of medical conditions or questions, or if you have any concerns that you want us to really make sure we're intentional with, specific with your child, you let us know. You can put it in the chat. I can put my information down there as well. So yeah, I'm just here for SKC support and assistant. And if you have any questions, y'all can drop it in the chat while she's talking, and I can try my best to answer to the best of my ability. So nice to meet you all, parents.
She just passed her NCLEX, so if you guys all can give her a round of applause, super proud of her. Known Trinity since she was in ninth grade at Esperanza and has been a huge part of our ministry as a participant and a huddle leader and an intern, and now coming back to camp and serving as an RN. So, Trin, your first camp as an RN.
Woo woo! Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, well, hi everybody. My name is Casey Doherty, and I am the director here of FCA in Philadelphia. I am so excited to be on this call with you, just to share with you guys about Competitors Camp 2026. This is my 10th year on staff with FCA, and just really grateful for the opportunity to serve in this city. I live in Frankfurt, like 2 blocks from the high school, and yeah, have just really loved serving alongside coaches and athletes in our city. And in particular, every year we've taken, gosh, at least for the last five, we've taken about 100 kids from Philly to camp. So excited to take another 100 this year to this camp and for people to just experience and encounter Christ in a new and different way, and improving in their sport. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm excited. This call hopefully will take about an hour and we'll have an opportunity for questions and answers at the end. Um, and so we'll get going here. Um, So the first thing I want to do is just do, for those of you who are new to FCA, just a brief introduction about who FCA is, this is a short video, but FCA has been in existence since 1954. We're a large international ministry, and our mission is to lead every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and his church. And so you guys are a part of something so much bigger than competitors camp or Philly FCA. Camps and huddles are happening all across the world throughout the year. And so you're a part of a huge mission and vision that God put on the hearts of people so many years ago, and that's still continuing. So I'm going to share this video. Can you give me a thumbs up that you can hear it?
In 1954, God had planted.
Can you guys? Yeah, okay.
In 1954, God had planted into the heart of a basketball coach
Lost audio.
7 decades later, that vision is a reality. I didn't get saved in a church. The FCA met me right where I was. We can reach every coach, every athlete, every community, every country to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence, coaches, influence.
Yeah, so I'm grateful that you guys are a part of a huge global mission that we have at FCA, and that for those of you that are new to FCA or FCA camps, that you're going to get a chance to encounter, yeah, what we're all about in a few weeks or a week and a half, I guess. Okay, so the purpose of camp. So competitors camp is where athletes and coaches and staff and volunteers find hope and purpose through the integration of God, life, and sport. I don't know if there's anything better, in my opinion, than combining Jesus and sport, and being with, it's going to be 1,500 kids at this camp this year, and another 1,500 adults. And so nothing's better than playing sport and chasing Jesus together for 4 days and 4 nights. One of the things that I think is really important for everybody to understand is that we got you. We really care about your experience at this camp. And when I think about camp, there's kind of 3 lanes, and they overlap. And that first lane is sport. And so in that sport lane, you're going to have coaches and athletic trainers and operations people that are going to get you water, and all these people in that sport lane are pouring into you. They want you to improve at your sport. They want you to see Jesus as you're a competitor. They're making sure that you're safe on the field. They're making sure that you have enough water, you have the equipment that you need. And then you've got on the right hand side, you've got the spiritual. So this is what we're going to call program, or chapel. You might hear people call this chapel. And there's a speaker. Hayden Ratner will be back. He was our camp speaker last year. Phenomenal speaker. He's a pastor at Walk Church in Las Vegas, Nevada. Came to Christ at JMU through FCA. Really amazing teacher of God's word. And so he's going to pour into you guys and teach you God's word this week. And there's going to be a worship band. So just like last year, Liberty's Worship Collective, they have students that major in worship, and they will be leading us again. And so they are pouring into you guys in terms of leading us into worship together. And then you have this space that's the margins, is what I call. And you've got nurses, you met Trinity, that are there to help you if you're sick. And you've got overnight safety people who are there to keep you safe at night. And so those people will stay up from midnight until 5 in the morning. And they are making sure that you guys have everything you need. If you get up in the middle of the night and you need a water or a snack, they're there for you. If you need to talk to somebody because you just can't sleep, if you want someone to pray for you or pray with you, that's what that overnight safety team is there for. And then if you look in the middle of all 3 of these lanes, you see the word huddle leader. So huddle leader is your camp counselor. So it's a college age student who is there. They're in charge of you. They're in charge of you, not just like your physical and emotional, but also your spiritual time at camp. and each huddle leader is assigned 8 campers. And so you will be with that huddle leader from the time that you wake up until the time that you go to bed. They're taking you to practice meals. They're leading you into small group discussions about the Bible. They're taking you to program. And so that's who you're spending most of your time with. And then if you see there's 3 kind of groups of people that are supporting that huddle leader. So we have a culture team, and that team is helping support the huddle leader in terms of if there was any challenging behavioral things that came up. So we have a culture person that's assigned to each sport, and they're there to really help navigate if something challenging comes up in terms of behavioral issues. You see, it says emo support, but it's emotional support team. So those are licensed counselors that cannot provide counseling services, but they're trained in helping the huddle leader navigate if there was any challenging emotional situation that came up with a camper. And then you see a huddle leader coordinator, and that's going to be a staff person that's assigned to that huddle leader to really pour into that huddle leader, make sure they're okay, make sure they understand all the logistics that they need. And together, so those 3 groups of people are really investing in the huddle leader so that that huddle leader can really invest in their 8 athletes. So if you have any issues, your first point of contact is your huddle leader. And so when you're on camp, if you lose your key or if you lose your key card, you need to tell your huddle leader. If you forgot your Bible, tell your huddle leader. If you forgot a towel or pillow or something like that, you're going to go to your huddle leader. So it's really important that you utilize your huddle leader for some of those things, especially at this camp. I'm going to be at camp. All of you obviously have my phone number, but what I'm going to encourage you to do, and I'll say this again when you guys get to camp, is to go to your huddle leader first. And the reason being is my role at this camp is to oversee the culture, emotional support, and overnight safety teams. So that's 60 volunteers that are helping to make sure that you're poured into. And so if you have an issue like something like I forgot my key, lost my Bible, don't have cleats, you're going to go to your huddle leader first. And then if they need my help, they can reach out to me. Obviously, if there's some sort of emergency and you want to speak to me, I'm available at camp. But I just want you to utilize that huddle leader and get to know them. They're there to love you, care for you. You're going to meet a lot of people you don't know. And one of the things I'm going to ask you guys when you get to camp is just to take a posture of like, I'm going to be curious about who these people are. And come into it like, okay, if everyone here is to invest in me, take the posture of like, all right, these are people I don't know, but they're probably going to tell me things that are helpful for me in terms of what I need to do to get better at my sport or what I need to do to grow in my walk with the Lord or just to keep me safe. And so I'm asking you guys as representing Philadelphia that you will come in to camp with a posture of just being curious to who are these people? Why do they want to love on me like this? And just being respectful. And we're going to talk in a minute a little bit about camp expectations. So that just gives you the overall, but we got you at camp. You've got a lot of people that love and care about you at this camp and that want you to have an amazing time for the 4 days that we're at Liberty. Okay, so last year we developed these core camp values. So those of you that were at camp last year remember our philosophy of doing the right thing. So our 4 core camp values, and this is for everybody. This is like all staff and huddle leaders and volunteers and campers. We're all aiming to doing the right thing. And that stands for respect. So we're aiming to honor each other with our words and our actions. Integrity, do the right thing even when no one's watching. Teamwork, a we over me mindset, and then effort, a willingness to grow. And so if you guys are staying fixed on these 4 things, you're going to have an awesome camp experience. Just as if I'm staying focused on those 4 things, I'm going to have an awesome camp experience. And then together, we're creating the camp culture and around these 4 things. So I want to just kind of go through what does this look like practically. All right, so we talk about respect, and that means keeping your hands to yourself, being kind, so in what we say, so how we use our words, leaving places better than we found them, um, integrity, so being honest, honoring the law, um, and we'll talk a little bit more about certain things as it comes to those things I have listed. Teamwork, be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there with the things that you need. So your huddle leader will remind you when you need to be someplace and you need to make sure you show up on time. If you think about it, there's 1,500 athletes at this camp. If everybody just decides to do what they want and move at their own pace, we won't be able to run camp effectively. And so we just really ask that when your huddle leader tells you, "Hey, I want you to be at breakfast or meet me in front of my dorm room at 8 a.m." Yep, just be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and make sure you have all the things that you need for practice. The dorms are 8 floors high. And so it will take you a minute, depending on what floor you're on, to get back to your dorm to get something if you forgot it. You need to stay on campus and with your huddle at all times. And we'll talk about this again, but leaving campus is an immediate dismissal. We care about your safety first and foremost, and so we do not want you to leave campus for any reason. And if we find that you did, we will send you home. And that's just to keep all of you guys safe. It's a lot of campers that we want to make sure that we keep safe. And so that's a huge piece to keeping you guys safe is staying on campus. And then to honor free time rules. So you guys, those who've been at camp before, will see that there's much more free time this year. And so there are free time rules, which indoors means that you're going to have your door open for your dorm, unless you're sleeping or changing, and that no one's allowed to be in your room besides your roommate. So if you want to hang out in your dorm, like if you've got girlfriends that you want to hang out with, like all the girls in the girls' dorm, you guys can hang out in the common area spaces. Or there's going to be designated outdoor spaces for free time. So we want you to honor those free time rules and just only be where you're supposed to be during free time. And then lastly, with the effort, we're just asking you that you stay locked in during your huddle and during program or chapel. So not to be in your cell phone during huddle. We're going to ask that you put it in the middle of your huddle. No AirPods or EarPods. There won't be cell phones at program again this year. They'll either be with your huddle leader, be in a lockbox, or left in your room. And if we find you with your cell phone at chapel, we'll take it until after chapel. And then we really just want you to focus on improving on and off the field and not a dating relationship at camp. So you're not here to get booed up. You're here to like grow in your relationship with the Lord and grow on the field. And so these are kind of the practical ways that our do the right thing looks like at camp. And last year, if you were at camp, this was a really fun way for us to create this culture and strive together. So the definition of the word competition actually means strive together. So we will have a competition. You will have an opportunity to get awarded wristbands throughout the week for any of those 4 core values. So if an adult or a huddle leader sees you living out any of these 4 core values, they can give you a wristband, and it may play out at practice where your coach honors you in front of a lot of people, or it may be in the dining hall and you cleaned up after your huddle and a volunteer like Miss Trin sees you and gives you a wristband. And so you'll get honored from the stage each night. You'll get a shout out, and the person that has the most overall wristbands at the end of camp will receive an award, and then we'll do awards by the most core value. So this is really fun. Loved seeing this last year. Philly really showed up. I loved running into each of you guys and being like, they were like, Miss Casey, I got another wristband. And so I want to see that this year. Like, let's lead the way in Philly with wristbands. And really create our culture of doing the right thing. Okay, so important reminders. As I mentioned, no cell phone use at huddles or during program. So parents, just know that from like a 7:30 to about 9:30 window, they won't have their cell phones. If there's an emergency, you can call me. I'll have my cell phone with me in chapel. Um, and so you can reach me during that time, but they won't be able to answer your phone call. Same with huddles, and I'll show you guys when the huddle windows are. Huddles during the day are about a 30-minute window. At night, they're an hour. And so those are just the only times besides practice that you won't be able to reach them. Um, we talked about this staying in your designated free time spaces. Um, and then the following would be immediate dismissal if you leave campus, if there was a physical or a sexual assault, and if there was weapons. Um, I do want to go back for a second. So this honoring the law, under integrity, no weapons, knives, guns, mace, Orby guns, no illegal substances, drugs, alcohol, vape, cigarettes. I just want to let you guys know that we're under obligation. If any of those things are brought to campus, I have to report it legally now to Liberty University's police department. And so please leave all that stuff at home. I don't want to be in a situation where I need to report that to the police department. That's under Clery Act law, that anything like that found on their campus has to be reported for their crime statistics. And so let's leave any of those things home. You don't need any of those things during your time. So please, please don't put us in a position that we have to involve LUPD. They have been amazing to us on this campus, and they are not in any way looking to get arrest anybody or anything like that. And so please, please, please leave anything like that at home, so that we don't have to get LUPD involved. And yeah, it can just be a great week for all of us. Okay, before I jump into camp logistics, so I'm going to give you all the ins and outs. I just want to pause for a second about to see if anyone has questions about the ways in which camp works, what our culture is, what our rules are.
Yeah, Casey, someone put in the chat that their daughter phone has to stay on her because of medical reasons. She's a type
Mhm.
1 type,
Yep,
and her phone operates.
yeah, that I think that happened last year, so that's absolutely completely fine. Um, we'll just make sure that her huddle leader knows that, and I think that was last year that that occurred, and it was like even in the huddle leader's bag, it was too far for the reader. So that's if you have a medical issue where you need your cell phone, that is completely fine. We'll just let the huddle leader know, and you'll have access to your cell phone so that that doesn't happen. Um, Thanks, Trin. Anybody else have questions before we like that before we get to the camp logistics? All right. Packing list. I've emailed this to you guys, so please check your email if you haven't. So this is listed out for all of you guys. Um, Really important bedding. So you're going to be staying in a college dorm room. There is nothing but an actual like mattress. There's a desk and there's a dresser, and a bathroom inside your room. I'm going to show you guys the room layout in a second, but you will need to bring your own bedding, including sheets, a blanket, a pillow. They're extra long twins, but a full size sheet or a queen will fit on the bed. I usually bring a queen. But they are extra long twins for taller people. You'll need to bring your own toiletries, so toothbrush, toothpaste, face soap. You'll need to bring your own shower stuff, so shampoo, conditioner, soap, a towel. Um, so casual clothes, whatever you want to wear to program. I would say that people wear a variety of things to program. Nobody is getting super dressed up. You don't need to wear a dress if you don't want to. This is like you can wear practice clothes to program, but you want to bring an extra set of clean clothes for program. And we have program 4 nights and then on Thursday. So just enough clothes for whatever you want to wear on those evenings and Thursday to travel home. You'll need to bring a backpack. And that way you can carry any sports equipment that you need, sneaker slides, your Bible, a pen if you want to bring your journal, and obviously bring your phone charger. For practice, you'll need to bring cleats or like for whatever your sport specific needs, cleats, shin pads, knee pads, um, a bat and glove, sneakers, basketball shoes. So whatever your specific sport needs to practice. If you're there for football, it is not contact football, so you do not need a helmet. You're on the turf. It's more 7-on-7. So whatever shoes you would wear for 7-on-7, that's what you need for football. Um, Workout clothes are 7 practices in total. It's pretty hot down there. This year you will not be walking to your practice. We are shuttling you. So last year I think a lot of people almost walked a mile to practice. So this year everyone will be shuttled minus girls basketball because they're in the Vine Center, which is right near the dorms. Bring a water bottle so that you can refill it. There are refillable water stations, so it's really important to stay hydrated because it is so hot and you will have 2 practices a day. Sunscreen, bug spray, any medications that you need, an EpiPen if you have an allergic reaction to anything. If you have asthma, make sure you bring an inhaler, diabetes, your glucose monitor. Make sure you bring charters if you have a glucose monitor. And yeah, so then you can see the list of things to not bring: alcohol, drugs, vapes, cigarettes, guns, knives. Don't bring things that are expensive. Just don't take the risk of someone taking them. Um, it's just you and your roommate in your room, and your room key only opens your room and your floor. But I just would say don't bring anything that's valuable. Do not bring your gaming system. There will be no time to be on the game. It'll be a good time to disconnect for you gamers. Questions about packing list? Okay, transportation. I sent an email today and then I think about 2 weeks ago with a link. So if you have not registered for the bus, please register for the bus so I know how many people are taking the bus to and from camp. We will be leaving from International Christian High School's parking lot. That is at 5500 Tabor Ave. I don't know what neighborhood that technically is in. Anyway, we will depart for camp at 6:45 on Sunday, June 28th, and hopefully arrive to Liberty around 2 p.m. We will provide on Sunday, you will get breakfast on the bus. We'll stop to get lunch, and there'll be plenty of snacks and waters and drinks on the bus. We will leave for Philly on Thursday at around 11:30 a.m. And I hope we arrive by 8 p.m. It was pretty long last year because it's a holiday weekend, and we take 95. And so I hope that y'all are back by 8 p.m. But just keep that in mind that we will stop for lunch on the way home. There will be snacks again provided, but it did take quite a bit of time to get home last year because of the 95 traffic. There will be chaperones on the bus. So we'll have 2 guy chaperones on the boys bus. Sean Pearson, who was a coach at Northeast last year, he's now coaching um, somewhere in the Midwest at a JUCO. Dwayne Smith, who's been a longtime volunteer of FCA from Philadelphia. Those 2 people, when we get closer next week, I will send out their phone numbers. So parents, you have access to the chaperone cell phone numbers. For the girls bus, Cash Jenkins and Joe Hari are going to both navigate the girls bus. And again, I'll send out the phone numbers of the chaperones for next year. I mean, for this year. Okay, daily schedule. All right. On Sunday, everyone's kind of on the same schedule minus dinner. You'll be told what dinner group you're in by your huddle leader. but you can see that we will have check-in from 12:30 to 3:30. Like I said, we plan to get there by 2, so you'll have about an hour to get yourself situated. At 3, you'll meet your huddle leader. At 3:15, you'll move to your first practice session. That first practice is 3:30 to 5:30. And then you're either moving to dinner or showering between 5:30 and 5:45. First evening program will be at 7:45 p.m. I'm sorry, at 8 o'clock. And then you'll have a free time window from 9:30 to 10:30. You'll have a huddle from 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. Then you'll move to your dorm and lights are out at midnight. My recommendation is to sleep. I know you guys are going to be excited and fired up, but these are long days. We're pushing you physically, we're pushing you emotionally, we're pushing you spiritually. And so really try to get sleep. It's super important because by Tuesday you'll feel it if you don't take advantage of the opportunity to sleep. All right, so that's Sunday schedule. Because of the size of this camp this year, we've moved to 3 different meal groups. I'm going to send all of this out, so you don't need to necessarily take a picture of it right now. But this is what meal group A looks like Monday through Wednesday. So this is the schedule that meal group A would be on Monday through Wednesday. And you can see kind of when they're going to breakfast and practice, huddle, program. And this we had to divide it this way so that we could get everybody through the dining hall and maximize practice time for everyone. So this is meal group A. And again, I'll pause for a second. So if you want to take a picture of this screen, go ahead. I will send this deck out so that everyone will have it. And then your huddle leaders are going to have your schedule. Sometimes they put the schedule on the back of your lanyard, or they're going to give you a copy of it when you get to camp. So you don't need to memorize this or anything like that. Somebody will tell you what to do and where to be. But if you're just interested in when your free time windows are. Okay, meal group B, a little bit different of a schedule. These are the sports that are in meal group B. And then meal group C. All right. Sunday schedule I do not have mapped out, but Sunday they have breakfast. They will meet with their sport group. They won't have a practice. So you don't practice on Thursday. Did I just say Sunday? Thursday's schedule I do not have laid out for you guys. On Thursday, you will have breakfast, then you will meet with your sport group, then you will have one more final program, and then we dismiss. And so we will hopefully be on the bus by 11:30 on Thursday. I don't have where your sport locations are. They are all over campus. And so you will be shuttled there, so you don't necessarily need to know how to get there by foot. There will be a campus map when you get there that will be handed out at registration. But this just gives you an idea. So this year we've moved the boys to Commons 1 and we moved the girls to Commons 2. There are 8 floors in each of those dorms. Program is in the Vine Center, where it was last year. And then the dining hall is here right across from the Vines and Commons 1. So everything minus sport is on this side of the campus. And then most of the sports are on the other side of campus or across the street. But like I said, they're going to shuttle you guys to sport minus girls basketball because they practice at the Vine Center. Okay, here's what the dorms look like. So it's 2 people in a room and you share a bathroom. Yeah, they're pretty spacious. You don't need a lot of stuff. And it's nice to have your own bathroom. I don't know if any of the parents on the call went to school where you had to share a hall bathroom, but that was me in the 90s. Um, so that's the dorm. This is what the dining hall looks like. You have tons of options for the dining hall, lots of places to sit. The food is pretty amazing. Um, yeah, you won't go hungry. It's all you can eat, so you can go up as many times as you want. Yeah, the only rule is to just go at your designated time that your huddle leader tells you to go. And that'll help us be able to get um, people through the dining hall in an efficient manner. This is where program is. So if you've ever been at a concert at like the Leah Chorus Center, that's what it's like. It's pretty amazing space to worship and yeah, it's an awesome venue to be together in and learn about God's word and worship and have some fun. So program is often we'll play some games at the beginning of program. And then we'll kind of we'll get a little bit more serious and we'll hear a testimony. Last year we had a few pro athletes sharing their testimonies, and it sounds like that we've got a couple pro athletes on the docket again to share their testimonies. And then Pastor Hayden will teach us on our camp theme, which is proven. And so we're going to be diving into John 15 this year. Again, I know that's what he did last year, but I'm sure he will give a different spin on John 15 and that yeah, we don't have to prove ourselves. It's already been proven in what Jesus did for us on the cross. So excited again for an awesome program. Um, let's see, you sit with your huddle. You'll have an assigned huddle when you walk in. It'll be on the screen. Um, and it's usually by sport. So it'll be by huddle by sport. And guys and girls are separated. And yeah, it's a pretty awesome venue to have a program. And we talked about athletic fields. Okay, I'm going to pause here for questions.
There are some questions that were placed in the chat. So one of them was, how many practice sections are there for each day, and how many total hours of physical activity will be for the day?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the schedule. So no matter what meal group you're in by sport, each sports camp has 2 practice sessions. So it's about that first practice session is about 3 hours. The second one is 2 hours, and that is pretty typical across the practice session. So it's about 5 hours of physical activity. There are testimonies that happen and other things that are going on at that practice window. So they may not be doing full-on activity. It just depends on the sport. So each sport's run like its own sports camp, and it's at the discretion of the coaches on how they want to use that practice session window. And so each sport's a little bit different. I know that sports like soccer, they'll have a testimony from a huddle leader. I know football, they'll do some chalk talk. They might have an interview panel with coaches, and so it varies. But I would plan on about 4 hours of physical activity each day. Um, yeah, total.
Another question was, a parent's daughter. They're they just got off a sports injury a month ago. So how would sporting and transportation look like for her?
Yeah, so whatever your sport would be in terms of if you need help getting from your dorm to the shuttle, you just need to let your huddle leader know, and we will get someone from operations to get you to take you via golf cart from your dorm to the shuttle pickup. And then the good news is that there is no walking like last year, unless again you're girls basketball and you're right there. And so the shuttle would take you to practice. And then if you're injured and you can't participate in practice, you can still hang at practice and interact with the huddle leaders that are hanging at practice and watch practice and be a part of that sport that way.
A parent asks if they can bring extra snacks for their child.
Yep, you can definitely do that. We can put them under the bus um for your kids. I asked like maybe that you don't bring a ton of stuff, only in that it's going to be a little bit of a hike to carry all your stuff from the bus to your dorm, but we'll have lots of people to help. Yeah, within reason. There is a snack shack. You can buy snacks. Um, there's a camp store. So the snack shack and the camp store take tap um, or cash. So you can purchase snacks each night. I can't remember what the snacks that were available, but I'm sure that there are stuff. There's pizza available at night. Oftentimes the huddle leaders purchased pizza for their huddle during that window. In the past, I've tried to make sure that all the kids from Philly got pizza. I can't remember how we did it last year. Does anybody remember if we had tickets for pizza that was at camp last year for if you were from Philly?
I don't think you did it last year.
I don't think we did either. Okay. Um,
No, you did. You give us like tickets.
I don't know what happened. We used to do that at Kutztown. This camp is like so much bigger now. I don't know. I'll figure it out
Wait,
though.
so hold on. Here we are in the chat. They said that the campers who were there last year said that you did have tickets last year.
How did you get them?
I don't, yeah, that's what I'm, how did y'all get those stickers? Since they, oh, they're huddle leaders. Hmm.
Oh.
Maybe it was a camp wide thing then. I think that's what it is.
All right, I'm gonna make sure that happens again. I'm sorry if your huddle leader didn't give you a ticket. It used to be you had to come find me, but this camp is way too big for that now. So gone are the days of Kutztown. Um, any other questions?
Yeah, there were some up here. Just to tag onto that, they said that they thought they were given to the campers on the bus. I think was that the system?
Oh my gosh,
I think that's what you
yes, that
did.
was the
Yes.
system.
Oh my, shout out, bro. Like, yes, I remember
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I need to remember to do that so that you guys have tickets. So you were probably given tickets, just don't lose your tickets. 'Cause that-
There was another question. It said, can you be in the room with more than one person?
There's only two to a room. So I don't know if it was more than two people or if the question was like, is it you
I guess more
alone?
than one person, I guess at a time. Like, I mean, either way, I think it's just you and your roommate. And if you want to hang with someone else, I believe y'all have to hang in the common area
Correct.
for free time, whatever. So only you and your roommate should be in that room.
Correct. So there isn't hanging out in your rooms with other people that are not your roommates. And that's a safety thing. I don't want people stealing your stuff. I don't want fights. I don't want any other nonsense happening. And so the safest way the best way we can keep everybody safe is that it's just you two in your room. And the door will be open unless you're asleep or showering. Or changing, obviously. And there's tons of common spaces for you guys to hang out with other people in those free time windows.
Someone asked, do the kids need to bring their own toilet paper?
No, we have toilet paper there.
If someone puts no roommate in the registration form, does that in fact mean that that's how it would be?
Nope, they'll definitely pair you with a roommate. Every single dorm room will be utilized because we have so many campers at this camp. And so you will be with a roommate unless somebody is a no-show and you have your room to yourself.
How does the tickets work for children who are driven to camp?
Mm,
That's a good question.
that is a great question. I will need to get back to you on the tickets with pizza
Mhm.
if you drive
Well,
yourself to camp.
let's see. Will you be with the roommate you requested?
So if you got my email, I think it was a couple weeks ago, that had the roommate request form on it, then your roommate request would be honored either on that form or if you put it in the actual registration. If you did not fill that form out or putting one down on the registration, Um, I don't know that you're going to get who they put you with. I know that most of our athletes are scholarshiped, and so I know that they have tried in the past to put um, Philly kids with Philly kids that didn't put down a roommate. I can't promise you that that's the case. It will be really challenging to get a roommate change at this point because it's 1,500 kids that they have to house. And so they really do try to honor those roommate requests. So if you had gotten that in on your registration or the form that I sent out via email a couple of weeks ago, that was honored.
Um, it said what little things for sure do we have to bring? When you say little things, you mean like in general or little things like what? Um, Someone also asked, when will you know who your roommate is?
When you get there.
Hmm. Another question, if there was no request, is it possible to change with a sibling?
Um, Shoot me an email. I'll ask them, but I can't make a promise. Especially depending on the age difference with siblings.
Okay, and they just said yes in general. I know she went over a slide some minutes ago regarding the things that you need to pack and stuff like that
I can go
as
back
well.
to that.
While she's going back, there was another question too. Um, if kids are in different sports, will they be able to connect with their friends or family members in other sports?
Yeah, there's that free time window that everybody has from 9:30 to 10:30 at night. You'll be able to connect then. There are overlapping free times. Um, but those schedules that I showed you guys, and I can go back to the schedules if you want, the free times are different for each of those meal groups. And when I talk about that's the afternoon free times. So you will see people at like sort of in transition, um, at chapel, and then the best time to hang out with people. So let's say you're in meal group C and your friends in meal group A, and you guys have really different schedules. The best time to connect is going to be that 9:30 to 10:30 free time window.
Someone asked, can you play your sport during free time?
You won't be able to go to the field, but you can throw around if you're football, you can kick the ball around if you're soccer. It's that free time space that's going to be available is that grassy knoll or like the grass that's in between the dining hall and the dorms. We'll have lawn games out there for you guys to play. But my gut is that you're gonna want to just chill because it is really hot and they will work you pretty hard at practice. Um, but if you do want to run around and play some lawn games or throw the ball around, you'll have that opportunity. You just won't be able to go to your practice facility. And some of that is because the practice facility may be used by another sport since we've broken up the sports.
Another question was, do they need to bring their own sports gear or do we have some at the camp?
What sport?
Softball.
So, Trent, do you want to answer that one since you did
Yeah, I
check?
can answer that. Um, for softball, you can bring your bat, helmet, honestly, everything. They do have some there, but honestly, for like helmet reasons and stuff like that, it's a lot of campers. Bring your own helmets. They have bats there, but if you prefer your own bats, bring that. Your glove. If you want to practice in your softball pants and you don't need a full whole softball uniform, you want to wear tights with a shirt, that's fine as well. I know, I think the only thing was for football was the helmets that they might not need because it's like a 7-on-7, it's not
Yeah,
contact,
yeah,
it's
they don't need
football.
that. Yeah. There are three people, I don't know if you're on this call, that are doing jujitsu. Let's touch base because you do need specific equipment for jujitsu that isn't provided. So, um, I will connect with those that are doing jujitsu. Okay, so before we close up, I just want to just share an opportunity. that we have to stay connected. We run summer huddles through June and July, and that's just an opportunity for you guys to continue to grow in your walk with the Lord. So it's for any 13 to 18-year-old that is going to camp or comes to our huddles at S. Browns or ICHS, or you can invite friends to this. And the why is that we want to make disciples who make disciples. So FCA staff and college huddle leaders invest in the high school athletes so that you guys can continue to grow closer to the Lord. So we have a staff of 8 college huddle leaders. All but one of them will be at camp as huddle leaders as well. And so this is an opportunity before camp for you guys to get to know them and get to know some of the other athletes that are coming to camp from Philly. And so how do we do this? Well, we come together and we play sports together. So we'll play large group games. Last year, we predominantly played flag football and volleyball. We play pickup basketball after the lesson. But we play games that a lot of people can participate in that aren't necessarily their sport. We play a game called Tiger Ball and Mayan football, but we're going to run around and we're going to compete. And then the college huddle leaders will lead a Bible study lesson to the large group. And then we break up girls and guys, and those college huddle leaders will lead the small group discussion, and we feed you guys pizza, and then we pray together. So that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That starts tomorrow from 6 to 9. And that will run Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this week, Tuesday, Thursday, next week, Tuesday, then we're at camp. And when we get back in July, it'll start that Tuesday after camp, Tuesdays and Thursdays at Northwood Park, which is across from Simpson Rec, on Erich Street in Northwood/Frankford neighborhood. That's the neighborhood that I live in. There are bathrooms across the street. There's a basketball court, and we are in the main park that kind of looks like a fishbowl when you pass it. Our rain location is International Christian, so they've been gracious enough to lend us that gym space. It has no AC, which is why we do not generally use it. It's cooler outside than it is in that gym in the summer, but we do have that option when it rains. So I really hope that you guys come out to Summer Huddle. We do provide rides. I'll just give you guys an example of the schedule. So if you do need a ride, you'll get a text message from me tomorrow, just reminding you guys of Summer Huddle. And if you need a ride, you just let me know, and we will set you up with one of those college huddle leaders to pick you up and drop you off. So competition starts at 6:15, and then you can sort of see the schedule lays out that way. And we usually hang out and wrap up around 8:45, 9 o'clock. Some days people don't want to go home and it's 9:30. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've been doing this since 2021. We've had up to 70 athletes come out on a given night, and it's just a great opportunity for you guys to stay connected in Christian community. And that's super important to me in Philly FCA, to give you guys an opportunity to do something with other people that want to grow in their relationship with the Lord. And many of those college huddle leaders came through high school ministry, and so they're now investing in you guys as we invest in them. So we do run a young adults huddle. So if you have graduated, if this is your last camp experience and you've just graduated this spring, you can either come attend this, or you can come attend our young adult huddle, which is on Wednesday night this week. And we do a similar thing with our young adult huddle. We play pickup basketball and a game called CrossNet, and we have food, and we jump into we're studying John. And so that's just another opportunity to stay connected with Christian community. And many of the athletes that have graduated, all of those college huddle leaders come to that on it'll be Wednesday this week, but it'll be Monday nights in July. So just opportunities for you guys to stay connected and plugged in with each other. And then lastly, please follow us so you can follow along on what's happening each day. They'll do a video update at FCA Competitors Camp. Follow us at Philly Metro. If you're interested in knowing more about our international organization, you can just go to fca.org, and our general FCA socials are there as well. And that is all I have. I am super excited. I'd love to pray for us as we head to camp in, gosh, a week and some change. If I guess one more chance for a question.
Yeah, I would say there were a
Okay.
couple questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Um, I'm gonna ask, how do you sign up for the bus? I assume to get to camp.
Yeah, so I sent an email out today. If you did not get the email, can you text me? There is a link in the email that I sent out. I can also bring that. I can,
And they asked someone asked what time was the pickup from ICHS. They missed that part.
yep, I'll go back to that. Hold on one second. I'll share my screen.
Um, the huddles for summer huddles, it is located at Northwood Park. So if you look up Northwood Park, you should be able to see the big grass area. That's where the huddles will be located. Are the Philly huddles only for high school students? Was another question.
It's middle school, so 13 to 18. You can invite friends. Um, so it's basically those huddles are available for middle school and then up to anyone who just graduated this summer. If they've been out of high school, if they're a 2025 high school graduate or below, we want them to come to our young adult huddle.
Where can information about Philly huddles be found?
On our social, and I will post it up on our website. But follow us on Philly Metro FCA. As soon as I get off this call, thank you for reminding me. I need to make a post.
And I think that was all. Okay.
Great. I'm going to pray for us. And obviously, you guys all have my cell phone number. You have my email address, hopefully, because I've emailed you all. And if you need anything, have questions, please feel free to reach out. So let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for today. God, thank you for the love that you have for us and all of our brokenness, that you would send your one and only Son to die on the cross and raise again so we could have right relationship with you. God, I just thank you for every camper on this call, every parent or guardian on this call. God, I just pray that you are going to, one, keep us safe in our travels to and from camp. Lord, I pray that you would just protect us as we travel down to camp and as all of these people, huddle leaders and coaches and volunteers and staff, all will be descending upon Liberty University in over a week, Lord. And just pray for traveling mercies. Lord, I pray that I pray that you would just move in a mighty way. I pray that people would encounter you in a way that they haven't before and that they wouldn't look back. That they would come home to Philly changed and excited and bold for your kingdom, God. And that this opportunity would change people's lives for eternity. God, I pray for all the details. I pray if there's anything that we forgot, that I forgot, Lord, I pray that you'd bring it to mind so I can communicate it with the parents. I pray for peace for anyone who is nervous to go away, and be away from home. God, I pray that you would give them an overwhelming peace. I pray for peace for these parents that are sending their children to camp, Lord, that they know that they are going to be well cared for, Lord, and that you love them. Um, and we ask all these things in your holy and precious name. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, Miss Casey.
Bye.